Hi everybody, Keith Matarangelo here. In this video, I want to walk you through how to configure a micro branch AP within AOS 10. So you might be familiar with this. This is a micro branch AP is really just a wrap in the old 8x, 6x terminology. Let's walk through the architecture first, and then we'll get into a demonstration of how to actually configure a micro branch AP. The first thing is let's start with our data center architecture. So we have a firewall, we have a VLAN and a network that our gateways are connected to. Now, some customers may have a single gateway. Other customers might have a pair of gateways clustered together, even more than that. One of the features of AOS 10 is the auto clustering function that can occur. Behind those gateways, we have three different VLANs, VLANs 101, 102, 103. These are all different segments of the network that the customer wants different types of devices to go into. The next part is what we call the underlay. Now, this is the home office or whatever network it exists on site at the time that you're going to plug in the micro branch AP. So, most customers at their houses might have a DSL modem. They might have a cable modem. These typically have a DHCP server function and a firewall. So one side will be connected to the internet. The other side will be connected to an internal network. So what we have here is we have a micro branch AP plugged into that underlay network. It's going to go out and talk to Central, and it's going to authenticate itself to Central, and it's going to wait for its configuration to be pushed down to it. So Central is going to tell it to form tunnels over to the gateway cluster. At that point, it's going to reach out and do that, and then it's going to start broadcasting that corporate SSID with the exact same security behind it that you would have at your corporate office, just like any other remote AP configuration you might be familiar with in the past. So the first step really is to create the micro branch overlay. You need to define a group within Central. You need to tell that group it's a micro branch group. That means you're going to specify an inner IP address pool. Remember, this is the inner address that the AP uses for direct communication with Central. These are /32 host addresses, and so I typically will choose something like a 1.1.1 through 1.1.1.100. However many micro branch APs you expect to terminate is really how you can size that inner address pool. Okay. After that, we just need to simply build the WLAN config and specify this as tunnel mode. Now, one of the features here is even in tunnel mode, we can allow split tunneling of traffic just by configuring the firewall policies accordingly. After the overlay configuration is complete, well, now we're able to either pre-stage or do zero-touch provisioning of that micro branch AP. That means just plugging it into the LAN, the underlay network at whatever site it's at. So long as that can get an IP address and get out to the internet, it will go to Central, and like I said, it will pull down its configuration, and then it'll build its tunnels appropriately. Once the SSID is in the air and the clients can start connecting to it, well, then we can get into some of the magic that Aruba offers you with role-based access control. Different models APs might have 3 different Ethernet ports, including a PoE port for wired devices like a VoIP phone. And then, of course, our wireless clients, well, they could either be full tunnel based on the firewall policy they may have, or they may be allowed split tunnel traffic, so we just break them out and send internet traffic, for example, straight to the internet, and corporate traffic is only tunneled back through to the data center. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into a demonstration, and I'll show you actually how to build this configuration up. Okay, here we are in Central. Let's go ahead and first create a new group for our micro branch AP. We'll come to the context filter, and we can just select groups here. You could also come down to organization and click there to create a new group. So we'll create a new group. We'll call this the Alabama micro branch. Now we notice here we have this option to use the group as a template group. We're going to uncheck both the AP and gateway and the switch. That's going to allow us to use the central GUI rather than use Excel spreadsheets and variable files. This is a feature that a lot of large service provider customers really like because it gives them the ability to roll out hundreds, if not thousands, of devices at a single go. So we'll give the group a password. That will become the admin password of the micro branch AP once we put it in there. Now what we'll do is we'll come up here and we'll select our Alabama micro branch group. And we'll come into configuration mode. Now notice this is an access point configuration. There is no AP in the group yet. We'll do that at the very end, but we're going to come over here. We're going to click the gear icon to launch configuration mode, and then we're going to go right into show advanced. So the first step is really to set up the group as a micro branch AP group. So if we come to security, let's go ahead and click on that, let it load up, and scroll all the way down. We have the micro branch settings here. So we'll come in and we'll just enable that. Now when I turn this on, you're going to see that it's going to ask about the AP inner IP address pool. So this is that address pool. Again, the determining factor for the size of the pool is going to be the number of devices or micro branch APs you expect to terminate on the controller. So I generally will give the, give the scope, about to 100 addresses. It may vary depending on your customer or your company. So we've enabled the micro branch AP. We've specified the inner IP address pool. Now what we can do is we can come over and we can start to build up the WLAN configuration. So let's come to WLANs. And we'll kick the little plus sign down here to go ahead and add an SSID. And we'll just walk through the wizard here. So we're going to call this the Corp SSID. Say next. And now here we're going to select tunnel mode, and then we're going to specify which gateway cluster, because I have a cluster of gateways. If you had a single standalone gateway, you would just specify that one. And then finally, what we're going to specify here is which VLAN do we want the users to go into. Now, you can get very creative and very there's lots of customization you can do here, but for the purpose of this demo, I want to keep it kind of simple. So I'm just going to select user VLAN 103, come to security. Again, here I could move over. I do have a couple of ClearPass servers enabled here. I've got a cluster of ClearPass servers for my organization. But again, just for the purpose of this demonstration, we'll just go ahead and make it a pre-shared key. So we'll give it a password. Click next. And now we can specify the role-based security. So here I'm going to come in and what I want you to see is that we've actually created a default role called Corp SSID. And by default, it's got an allow all firewall policy. But let's go ahead and tailor that a little bit. We're going to come in here. We're going to allow this client or these clients to get DNS. We're going to allow them to get DHCP. And then what we're going to do is we're going to allow them back to the network in the data center. So like I said, there is actually 4 VLANs and 4 subnets there. So we'll go with a /252 a subnet mask. And then what we can do here is we can just drag and drop these rules into whichever placement we want. And then let's go ahead and let's tailor this last rule. Now, even though I've created a tunnel mode SSID, what I can do is based on my firewall policy, I can allow all traffic not destined for the corporate network to be source netted out the AP and the underlay network that exists. So let's just take a quick review here. We're going to allow users of this role to get DHCP. We're going to allow them to use DNS. We're going to allow them access to the corporate network and anything else, for example, internet traffic. They're going to source NAT on the AP and go out the underlay gateway. So we'll go ahead and say next. We get a nice little summary page here, right? What type of security have we set? What VLAN are the users going into? What's the SSID name going to be, right? what mode of tunnel is it going to have. So let's go ahead. We're happy with that. We'll say finish. Let that push the configuration to the group. You should receive a message here that the SSID has been configured successfully. And now what we need to do is we need to come in, we need to actually go and move an AP into that group so it can inherit that configuration and my Alabama microbranch users can connect and get online. So what we'll do is we'll come over here. We've got our device inventory. We've got an access point right here that we're going to deploy into the Alabama microbranch. So we'll just drag it and drop it into the group, confirm the action. And then at this point, what's happening in the background here is that the AP is actually learning its configuration and it's going to build its tunnels up to the gateway. I have some other microbranch APs that are running right now. Let's look at the Texas microbranch one. We can come in here, we can see the devices. We can see, obviously that we have a 515 AP here, right? It's a Texas microbranch. If we click onto that, we can go into the monitoring overview page. Come over here to tunnels and take a look at it. Select the gateway. And we can see that both a active tunnel and a standby tunnel are built to both cluster members of the gateway cluster. Let's come over and we'll just come to all devices here. And let's go to clients. Here we go. We have a couple of clients connected. So I've got a client connected to the Florida microbranch AP, and I've got a client connected to the Texas microbranch AP. Let's just go ahead and click on this one. Again, at a glance, we see all of the client's health information here. So his device health, the signal to noise ratio, the send and receive transmit rates, all very good information. And then here we see the client's entire data path from the client itself to the SSID that it's connecting to the AP that's broadcasting it, to the gateway where this session is actually terminating at. Down below, we have a lot of good information about the client, who makes it, the IP address, the MAC, what VLAN is it in, what role does it have, how did we authenticate this user via radius, and then all of the client connection capabilities. This is an 11 AC client on channel 124, etc. So with that, I hope this helps explain how the microbranch configuration works. Stay tuned for more videos and have a great day. Bye now.